Hey, what's going on, everyone? Coach Joey coming in. It's January 17th. It's 1:30 in the afternoon. I am currently getting ready to run a few errands, so pulling out right now. But I wanted to come in with a message for today. So we're kind of on the back end of January. Everybody knows what their New Year's resolutions were, what they want to work on, what they want to improve on for the new year. And hopefully you guys have, kind of stayed on track with that. And, one of the things that I kind of wanted to talk about today was, understanding that, you don't have to wait for a new year because, literally every day that you wake up and you're healthy is a new opportunity to kind of improve on yourself. So I wanted to come in today. Those of you who know me a little bit better know that I've been, went through some personal stuff kind of last quarter of last year. And, I think that things that have happened have been for the better. But I'm starting to realize kind of a lot of things, about myself and about life. And, some of the things that in turn will make me happy. So, this past weekend, I went down to South Florida. I grew up down in Fort Lauderdale, and most of my family still lives down there. Sorry, this camera's shaking a lot. Unedited footage here, by the way. And I went down to hang out with one of my cousins. They're actually both my cousins and a good friend of mine. And, we kind of always grew up like brothers down there. And all the way through, adulthood, obviously, we've stayed in contact. And so I get down to my cousin's house. It's Thursday night. I get there about 9 o'clock. He lives down in the kind of out west of Fort Lauderdale in Coral Springs. And I get to his house, and we literally spend the whole night catching up. I mean, we literally spent from about 9:30 at night till 5 in the morning talking and just kind of catching up. And, so I went to bed, woke up the next day, and as the day was kind of going on, it really kind of made me think about some things. So, one of the things that's kind of crazy about the world we live in is we have all of these things. We have, smartphones and laptops and tablets and the internet and Facebook and social media and Snapchat and Instagram and all of these things. Where on the surface, it seems like it creates a better connection for people as far as staying in contact with, friends or family or whatever the case is. But realistically, it's all superficial. It's just all sits on the surface. And you really, it almost creates distance because, you see your brother or your mom or your grandmother or whoever it is on Facebook, and you feel like you're connected to them. But when you really try to put it into perspective, when's the last time you picked up the phone to give one of those people a phone call? When's the last time you went and visited one of those people for a long weekend? And, realistically, as people don't do that as much these days anymore because we feel like we're so much more connected with all of these electronic devices. And what's crazy to me is going down to South Florida, kind of where I grew up. All my friends and family are down there. We had all these plans to kind of go out and party and just go have a good time. And I was so content with the fact that we literally spent every night sitting at his house and catching up, whether it was with friends or family or whoever came by the house. And it was, it was almost just, for lack of a better word, an amazing experience because it's been so long since myself personally have done that, and especially with that group of people. I mean, you grow up, 5-6 years roll by. I have 2 kids. He has kids now. We talk to each other every once in a while in passing if it's at a holiday or whatever the case is. But we really, really, truly, there's just been, this huge gap and this huge distance that's been created because we've never just sat down and had a great conversation with each other. So, here's kind of a little bit of a challenge for anybody out there. So it's January 17th. It's Tuesday. What I want you to think about is I want you to think about a family member or friend that you've always been really, really close with, and think about the last time that you've had a face-to-face conversation with them, or even think about the last time maybe you actually picked up the phone and had a conversation with them longer than about 4 or 5 minutes and, talked about some stuff that was going on, not just kind of like an in-passing question or whatever the case is. And, when I start to think about it, I have a long list of people that before smartphones, before laptops, before Facebook and, all that stuff, I probably talk to pretty frequently. And now I think about it these days and, we might like each other's Facebook status or, click heart on the Instagram picture or whatever it is. But the last time you've ever been connected with somebody, on a level that, is, face to face or real person, even like I said, making a phone call these days is almost becoming obsolete. So here's the challenge. It's Tuesday right now. It's the 17th. We'll ride this out for 7 days. So you guys, if you have a person, friend, family member, whatever it is, somebody that you think you're connected to, and when you sit down and really think about it, maybe you haven't talked to them in 4 weeks or 6 weeks or a year, or you haven't seen them in a year, or whatever the case is. The challenge is to try to make a connection with that person. Try to go outside of just the standard text message with that person. And, you know, if you're able to do that this week, I definitely recommend that you try to make that some sort of habit for yourself and see if it's something that's going to help increase maybe your happiness in your life. Because I know for me, it was really just an amazing thing to, you know, spend that much time with somebody who I think that I know really well and that I've spent a great deal of my life with, and just realize that, holy shit, it's been 6 years and we've probably spent about 2 hours total talking in person or talking on the phone or whatever the case is. So we had so much to catch up on. All right, you guys, Coach Joey out. Keep that in mind. Remember, new year, new you, stay on track. If you fall off track, just get back on track. Every day is an opportunity. Do something in the right direction that's going to improve your life. And then, you know, just keep plugging along. You guys have a good one.